Bitcoin prices now more than double where they
sentiment has changed dramatically.
We're starting to get into a new crypto bull market, and you know what that means.
Today, about $30 trillion
blockchain-based technologies are advanced technologies.
Altcoin season. Crypto is back. Altcoins are an amazing way to grow your portfolio, as long as you're in the right ones. So I'm going to share with you today our biggest cryptocurrency altcoin predictions for 2024. Being in the industry now for a number of years, the cycle runs very similar. And this is where you can take advantage of altcoins as the money starts to flow there. First, Bitcoin runs up, then it starts to get rotated into Ethereum. As Ethereum runs up, there's a greater appetite for investments into altcoins. And then the money starts to flow into altcoins as well. Once Bitcoin and Ethereum have reached their dominance highs, altcoins tend to follow and mark a near peak of the bull market as what's known as alt season. Number one is Matic. Matic is the native cryptocurrency for Polygon. Polygon is an Ethereum scaling solution, and it's creating an ecosystem of infrastructure and products to scale Ethereum and move value on-chain. Why am I so excited about Polygon and Matic? Well, Polygon has one of the best business development teams in the world, forming legitimate relationships and being the go-to chain for many Web2 brands, including Starbucks and DraftKings. And this is a big one, because I think about crypto very plainly. Cryptocurrency tokens need to solve a problem. And if they're solving a problem, people will pay for it. And many of the cryptocurrency tokens sound great in theory, but don't actually solve a problem. Polygon is one of those that genuinely solves a problem that real world brands are paying for. And that's why I'm bullish, and I actually hold Polygon myself. It has a diverse range of scaling and product solutions in the pipeline, and it is also in the process of decentralizing itself by inheriting Ethereum security. But one of the biggest reasons why we're so bullish on Polygon is it's going through a major upgrade at the moment to Polygon 2.0. The token Matic will be upgraded to the token POL, and this has been months and months in the making and will be finalized in 2024. Polygon 2.0 has a few big things to reshape Polygon itself. One is it's going to unite the value across Polygon by making it easier to interact with all of its different products. Its centralized non-Ethereum POS chain, or Polygon POS, will become increasingly secured by Ethereum. There's going to be renewed governance approach to increase decentralization, and as I mentioned before, Matic will become POL as part of the new token economics upgrade. I believe Polygon 2.0 will be a huge reason why Matic's going to be a big winner in 2024, and definitely one to keep on the lookout. Number two in our cryptocurrency predictions is Uniswap. Uniswap was super successful in 2023 and solidified itself as the number one DEX, or decentralized exchange, in 2023. However, the token Uni didn't perform as well. Like Polygon, Uniswap didn't really increase across the year of 2023, only ending up a few percent. One thing I talk about here on the channel a lot is around understanding the token utility. Just because a product is great doesn't mean the token necessarily goes up if it doesn't have the token economics to match. And Uniswap and Uni is a great example of that. The product is great, people use it, but the token is not accruing as much value as what it probably should. The same can be said about XRP and Ripple, where you've got the company Ripple and the token XRP, but the value may not actually accrue all the way through. An even more extreme example of this is where we saw FTX and the token FTT. FTT really didn't do much at all. It was the product FTX, which was the product, and then they had this token FTT, which seemed to be accruing the value, but was actually just in the background accruing value so SBF could basically spend the money. Crypto tokens and shares do not work the same. Like buying a share in a company, that accrues all the value. It's only a piece of the company. But the token in a cryptocurrency project doesn't necessarily need to accrue all the value. So please be aware of that when we're investing into altcoins. Now, while other DeFi platforms have started to add fees and to use the protocol product to generate revenue to the protocol's treasury, or sharing a portion with token holders, Uniswap has firmly stayed away from this path. And that's why there's been a lot of criticisms about the underperformance of the Uni token. However, we expect the tide to turn for Uniswap and Uni in 2024, and we're banking on Uniswap to rebound from its horror 2024 months due to three big reasons. Number one is Uniswap has the best brand in crypto. People love to use Uniswap. The product is amazing. I use it constantly in swapping my different altcoins. And it's holding a huge 60% lead in the DEX space, which is massive. The market share it has on the decentralized exchange ecosystem is ginormous. We could see more development to come, including a future V4, and its Uniswap X and aggregator are in development. And number three, token Uni will hit 100% supply in September 2024, having then only a 2% inflation rate. And this is super important when we talk about token economics, is that so many of these tokens are pumping so many new tokens into the ecosystem, nearly impossible token economics demand to push the price up. This is one of the biggest reasons why I don't invest into meme coins. A lot of the meme coins have extraordinarily bad token economics. If you look at how many new tokens are coming into supply, they are just printing new tokens, which creates a very, very difficult ecosystem to push the price up. Why Bitcoin is so attractive and Ethereum now in a deflationary measurement is because there's only a limited number versus a lot of these altcoins that have been created primarily to create wealth for the people that have built the tokens and the early investors, not the retail. The only biggest challenge for Uni is the headwinds that DeFi faces in 2024 amongst the regulatory uncertainty. But I think with the underperforming token and the overperforming product, I think Uni is one for definitely keep a watch out in 2024. Number 3 is chain flip. Think Uniswap, but across chains. It recently launched its mainnet in end 2023, but remained a guarded soft launch. We expect 2024 to be a huge year for Chainflip as its native cryptocurrency flip as they add more features. So why are we interested in Flip? Because of the price run up, ThorChain or Thor also started creating a cross-chain swapping platform, and the ThorChain token has exploded in 2023. Rune was one of the only games in town. However, this is changing with Chainflip. I expect many who missed the Rune move to look elsewhere and potentially see a massive inflow in attention and usage. This is one theme that you can take away as an investor, to look at the different narratives and money flowing in different ecosystems. Sometimes tokens and narratives are lagging when the price doesn't go up. So if you can look at which tokens are actually moving up and getting into competing chains, like Ethereum and Solana, for example, or now ThorChain and Chainflip, it's a good way to start to predict the movements that are going to happen in the ecosystem and get capital in the tokens that are underperforming. You always want to look at things that are underperforming, not chasing things that are now overperforming. Number 4 is DYDX, a favorite of ours that's been around for a long time and a leader in the decentralized derivatives marketplace. DYDX commands greater than 50% market share in the DeFi derivatives market, and I only expect DYDX to potentially solidify. This is again a huge market share, and we can look at this data on-chain analytics. We can see who's trading where and who's got the volumes. Something that commands 50% of the market is ginormous. Think about like any brand that commands 50% of a market share. It's basically unheard of. So as you get these products that are really driven by usage and creating a solution that people use, they're the horses you want to back in the race. Approximately 1% of derivatives trading is via DeFi. With the collapse of centralized exchanges in 2022 and charges against Binance, who is one of the largest single exchanges for derivatives, fully expect we could see a rebirth of movement on-chain and away from centralized exchanges. A big catalyst for the year of DYDX was the launch of the DYDX chain, with 100% of the fees going to the DYDX stakers and validators. DYDX starts to see serious fee distributions. It could raise even more awareness and drive token to the DYDX token. Again, DYDX solves a real problem for real people, and it's a great narrative to jump on. Finding these fundamental projects that are fixing real world problems that people are utilizing, and you look at the team, you look at their history, you look at their token economics, understand that they're generating revenue, look at that they have low competitors and a huge market share with an underperforming token. It is a recipe for success. So these are why we like these projects. Number 5, Solana. Solana was a huge winner in 2023, and for good reason. It extended a number of major partnerships with big names like Visa, and it's had a huge, strong market of mainnet uptime. This was one of the biggest reasons why Solana underperformed so much in recent years, was that its mainnet uptime was really poor. The blockchain kept shutting down and it could not maintain uptime. They're now on the way to fixing these serious issues that were plaguing their network back in 2021 and 2022. We expect Solana to remain a top altcoin in 2024. The reason why Solana performed so well in 2023 was one of its upgrades called Fire Dancer that happened in the recent months. This was a big deal because of its Solana's biggest ever infrastructure upgrade and made Solana more decentralized, faster, and most importantly, it was more resilient to attacks and downtime and improved stability. We've also seen some massive airdrops in the last few months with Solana, and we fully expect this to happen in 2024, which naturally creates interest and people wanting to use the chain to interact with the projects to get these airdrops. This has this wealth effect of Solana and could encourage more on-chain activity. So I think Solana is going to be a great one, and is a good one to maybe diversify away from your Ethereum holdings in 2024, as that anti-Ethereum narrative I think could be a winner in 2024 if you want to diversify away from just holding Ethereum. Some honorable mentions, specifically in the gaming sector. We believe gaming is going to be absolutely massive in the next 12 and 18 months as more games get rolled out. A couple of them that we like, one is Illuvium. Illuvium has been one we've been bullish on for a little while now, as it's starting to roll out its AAA games. It's getting more and more revenue and more players playing it, which is a huge win in the space. They've raised a lot of capital and they've been around for a long time. The only downside would be the token economics for me, and that's a reason why I don't invest. And the other one is Ronin with the token RON. It's definitely worth your attention. Their KPIs keep trending higher with new games being launched on chain, and its first breakout star, Axie Infinity, was obviously an absolute winner. RON is backed by a massive treasury, and the token is surprisingly hard to buy. When you've got a game that's highly being used and a low token supply, these are recipes for success. So watch out for gaming in 2024. And another one, which is a favorite of mine, Maple Finance. I've spoken about it in other videos. Maple Finance is a DeFi project that I own as well, which I'm super bullish on. It's based out of Sydney, and it's one of the only very few DeFi projects that lasted through the bear market, that's got a really high TVL, that's creating more contracts with businesses wanting to take out loans, and it's building on the real world asset narrative, which I'm super bullish about. So for full transparency, I own Maple and I also own Polygon. So there you have it. There are our research-backed predictions for 2024 in altcoins. Alt season is going to be upon us very, very soon, and it's a great way to increase that portfolio value. If you need help with your sell strategy, we've also posted videos on that, which you can go check out. But strap in for what's going to be a massive 2024. I'd love to hear what your altcoin predictions are in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.